Thanks a lot, Sureshji. I mean, he's my guru. We met something like 8 months ago, and that was in lovely professional university. And what a lovely and professional meeting it was. Thanks a lot, Sureshji, for bringing me here, and thanks a lot for bringing all of us here. I mean, this is incredible. The type of people I'm interacting with today, it's incredible, I'll say. Awesome. I've never experienced this type of a condensed meeting. Selected people coming in and bringing in so much of wealth. So all credit goes to this guy, Mr. Suresh Mancharamani. I want him a big round of applause for him. A big round of applause. And also thank you for this incredible introduction. I mean, it seems as if it was not for me. But so I'm here in front of people who are into businesses, toiling and doing wonderful works in their own areas, and I know how it is when you are an entrepreneur. You're scaling heights, you're moving from one peak to another peak, then to the third peak, then to the fourth peak, and every peak when you reach, and you look down and say, my God, where have I come from? And the agony is that you cannot stand there enjoying that coming, because if you stand there for too long, somebody will come and put his foot on your head and will move ahead. You simply cannot do that. That's sort of a stress. Every moment you are excited, but at every moment you're also thinking of going ahead. And the type of the competition we are feeling from the generation. This morning something happened. I was talking to my daughter. She's 8 years old, and it's interesting. I was speaking to her, and she wanted my mobile phone. I said, you won't get it. She said, I want it. I said, you won't get it. And we had a fight. Finally, she was very angry. Now, you know what she did? She went to the corner of the room. So I thought कि अभी इसको मनाना तो पड़ेगा. So I said कि ठीक है, तुम homework थोड़ा सा करो, तुमको मोबाइल मिल जाएगा. She quickly did the homework, and then she came to me. अभी बात तो कर नहीं रही थी. Her face was very angry. I said, क्या हुआ चारू? So she said, अब मोबाइल दो. I said, ठीक है, ले लो मोबाइल. And then she went to the corner of the room doing something with the mobile. आधा घंटा she worked with the mobile. Then she came and said, ले लो अपना मोबाइल. And she went away. मैंने कहा ये मोबाइल से कर क्या रही थी? As a father, I thought ये कर क्या रही थी मोबाइल से? So मैं गया, मैंने मोबाइल चेक किया. So she was looking at YouTube. And do you know वो YouTube में क्या देख रही थी? She was searching how to sell your father online. I mean, this is the type of the generation you are going to get the competition from. I tried to find an antidote for it on YouTube, couldn't find out. तो मैंने फिर उससे ही पूछा, बता इसके लिए मैं क्या ढूंढूं? So that's the type of the young people coming in the times when you will be at the top of your affairs and you will be challenged by people. So you are going to be all stressed out. So how to handle this stress? I have a very limited period in which I have to speak. So the first thing which I'll cut everything short and I'll come to the first point. See, what I believe, when you're stressed out, there are hundreds of things like yoga, meditation, everything. We all know about them. But I'll share 3 very short strategies which if you imply. Number one, which I'll tell you what it is, but let me come to it first. So the first thing which I believe is, many years ago when I was a student in college, so I was studying in North Delhi, in the North Campus. So when I was a movie buff. So I used to come back from the movie every Friday 9 to 12 with my friends, and I used to come back through that area called Malkaganj. And I still remember there used to be a police wala standing there. And every time I would reach that Malkaganj Chauraha, that police wala would look at us and say, get down, utro, rickshaw se. You get down. The first question he asked, kahan se aa rahe ho? Movie dekh ke aa rahe hain. Okay. ऊपर से नीचे तक देखता था. Where are you going? Hostel जा रहे हैं. आराम से जाना. Fine. कई साल चलता रहा. 3 साल, 4 साल, 5 साल. Then I passed my graduation and everything. Then one day, after passing my graduation, I was looking for job somewhere. So my father called me that night. And he said, Sonny, I got to speak to you something. You're looking for too many things in your life. Just wanted to know. I want to have a discussion. So after dinner, I sat down on the cot and we were discussing. So my father said, see, you are into a chaos right now. You're not decided what you want to do in your life. And the type of the stress I can see on your face and all those things. See, there is just one thing I want to say to you. And there is one question I want you to ask yourself. And that question is simple. Where am I coming from and where am I going to? It struck me, believe me. I said, how life can ask you questions and you are not even aware it's asking a question to where that policeman was asking me the question all 4 years. Where are you coming from and where are you going to? I never thought about it. Never. Now, during my counseling, one day, I won't say she was a client, but she was a known person. She was a lady of around 35 years. She called me up and she said, Dr. Pandey, I'm sending you my mother to you. She's 75 years old. She's got some stress, some problems. Can you handle that? I mean, professionally, I cannot say no, but I felt challenged. 75-year-old lady, I'm supposed to counsel. So I said, basically, let me see how I can help. It's not going to be a counseling. So my room, my office, this lady walks in, 75 years old. She walks in, and she's such a wonderful lady. I mean, 75, all docile, innocent, and she sits there. I hold her hand and make her sit on the chair. And then we started discussing. The problem was that he had 4 or 5 kids. One was a son who was an entrepreneur. And this guy was doing wonderfully, but after 15 years of a very disturbed marriage, finally he and his wife had separated. Not divorced, just separated. Now this mother was stressed out. कि इसकी जिंदगी में होगा क्या? ये पैसा कमा रहा है, सब कुछ कर रहा है, पैसा जाएगा किसके पास? And on top of it, after the marriage collapsed, this guy started having extramarital affairs with all sorts of women. Now this pious lady was disturbed to the depth of her heart. She says, पैसे के पीछे पड़ा रहता है, ऐसी लेडीज के संग वो जाता है और कहता है कि ये जरूरी है. Completely stressed out. And then she says, now he is wanting to marry a lady. मुझे ये भी नहीं पता उसके घर में कौन है क्या नहीं है. जितना मुझे पता है, he should not, because that lady is wanting to take the benefit of my son. Completely stressed out, 75-year-old lady, and she's weeping like anything in front of me. Now my problem is, I was 42 and wanting to counsel a lady 75. I felt ये तो imposter वाला काम कर रहा हूं मैं. But then my father's advice came to my mind, and that's all I said to her. Believe me, I said, ma'am, I just want to say one thing to you, and that's not my advice. That's the advice of somebody who's as old as you. And the advice is one line, if you can get it. Just try to find out where are you coming from and where are you going to. Now this lady looks at me. What does it mean? I said, what I understand is, where are you coming from means, what have been your values? What have you been doing in your life till now? What have you stood for all these years? What is it that you don't want to give up at this stage of your life? 75 years, you just don't want to give it now. You want to stand for it. Doesn't matter what relationship you have to give up. Doesn't matter whatever you want to, what problems it's going to bring to you. But you don't want to give up that one thing. Where are you coming from? See, somebody said that if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. What is that one thing for which you want to stand in your life? That's where you're coming from. And where you're going to, that's what you want this world to remember you for. What do you want yourself to be remembered as? As a mother of what? Or as somebody who stood her values, come what may. What do you want your grandchildren to remember you as? And I was giving this lecture. The lady stood up and walked out. She didn't even pay me. And on top of it, I thought, यार बहुत lecture दे दिया इनको. My wife asked me, क्या हुआ? I said, नहीं, सब बढ़िया हुआ. And that was the most guilty feeling I had. मैंने कहा क्या बोल के आ गया हूँ मैं आज इनको पता नहीं. 2 days down the line, Suresh ji, that lady called me, that the daughter who had sent that lady to me, and she said, Dr. Pandey, I'm thankful to you. My mom has come to my house. I said, what does it mean? She says, she came to my house and she said, she took the name of the son, but I'll not take that. She said, I've left his home. He's not willing to leave what he stands for. I'm not willing to leave for what I stand for at this age of 75. No. She says, I'm happy and proud about my mother. She said, but there is a problem. I said, what? She said, because now whenever I'm in stress, she says, honey, ask yourself, where are you coming from and where are you going to? She said, what does it mean? I say, I don't know what it means. You have to live long enough to know what does it mean. But it means something. So that was the first thing which I would want you all to know, where are you coming from, what you stand for. Whenever you are stressed out, believe me, this single question is going to help you. Where are you coming from and where are you going to? That will help you make choices. Life is all about choices. But how to make it? This simple test. Where am I coming from? Where am I going to? So there goes my second point. Now, when you say that I must know where I'm coming from and where I'm going to, the first thing that is required is you must have the time to do it, right? And you must put some effort on you. See, most of the time, we are not willing to put efforts, money, and anything on us. We're doing everything for everybody else. Mummy ke liye kar rahe hain, papa ke liye kar rahe hain, bachcho ke liye kar rahe hain, family ke liye kar rahe hain. What about you? If you are not smiling, believe me, nobody is going to smile with you. I'm telling you, if you are not smiling, nobody is going to smile and nobody is going to be with you, because people want to be with people who are smiling. You have to give some time to yourself. That's important. And I have something, I'll make it very quick, but just if you can do this test. So it's not, you can't see it much. What I'm suggesting you is, it's a simple graph exercise. You can do it in your mind in 15 seconds. Think about it, that if your life is such that I divide it into 5 compartments. So number 1 is career, financial issues in your life, relationships in your family, relationships with your businesses, your personal physique, health, and family issues. Suppose 4 or 5 areas of your life. Just think about it in 15 seconds. Now, if I say that, put a mark. If you are very, very sad about your career, put a mark there on top. Okay? And if you're happy, put a mark here. Relationship in family, very sad, there are troubles, put a mark at the top. Otherwise here. That's something, the type of exercise you do. Wanting to see how happy, how satisfied you are in life. Just do it in your mind if you can do. If you do it, you'll have a chart like this. And when you put a dot, put an arrow to that point. Okay? Now see, this is the result of one of my person with whom I was doing it. You can't see the arrows, but these are the arrows. This person has said that I'm very dissatisfied with my career. Relationship with my office, very unsatisfactory. He had a health problem, not happy. So these are the arrows. And these are the areas in which everything is fine. Financial is fine, family relationship, family issues are fine. Now, see the arrows. Those are the areas on which we tend to focus. The thorns which are piercing us every moment. This is not working out. This is not working out. That's where we tend to focus. All of us. That's where we focus. And because of the pain which happens because of these thorns in our lives, we forget the other points. But fortunately or unfortunately, the energy comes in from those good things in the life. At every point in life, in everybody's life, something good is happening. Something good is happening. Provided you can come out of that pain and think about it. That's what hope is. That's where the hope comes in from. If you can do this exercise. It's a longish exercise. I'll cut it here. I'll come to the third point. It's a very profound thing to do if you can do it. The third thing, and that's very important, and that's what I say is, okay, it's not here, so I'll put it like this. The third thing is, I'll bring in Mahabharata here. That's one of my favorite topics. What happened when Mahabharata war started? So Dhritarashtra is sitting and Sanjay is in front of him, and Dhritarashtra says, Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samveta Yuyutsava Mamaka Pandavaschav Kim Akurvat Sanjaya. संजय धर्म क्षेत्र में कुरुक्षेत्र में जब युद्ध हो रहा है, मामका पांडवाश्चैव, मेरे पांडव किम अकुर्वत क्या करते हैं? And what were they doing? They were standing in front of the Kauravas, led by Dharmaraj. And there is this Arjun, right? And there are Pandavas, there are Kauravas. The Arjun, when he starts looking at the opposite side, what starts happening? He starts feeling guilty. He starts sweating. And he starts getting underconfident. He sees Bhishma and he says, I can't put an arrow into his chest. It's not possible. For what? Now just see, his hands are trembling. the hands of Arjun are trembling. Now, have you ever thought, why Arjun? Why not Dharmaraj? He was the Dharmaraj. He should have been the first one to say, my hands are trembling. I cannot put the bow into the heart of the Bhishma. That's not fair. But it was not Dharmaraj whose hands were trembling. It was not Duryodhan who was raising in anger, whose hands were trembling. His hands should have been trembling to take the revenge. It was not Bhim whose hands were trembling. It was not Bhishma, in front of whom the small kids were sitting. Think about it. If you have to take your bow and arrow and put into the chest of somebody you've seen born one day, it's not Bhishma whose hands are trembling. It's the hands of Arjuna which are trembling. Why is it only Arjun whose hands are trembling? Well, that's not because he's the wisest, he's the fiercest, he's the most awesome warrior. No, we have better people than him on the team of Pandavas. His hands, ladies and gentlemen, are trembling because it's his chariot on which sits the God himself. Because he can take care of the trembling of the hands. And whenever you are in frustration, anger, or whenever you are trembling, think about it. There's got to be someone on your chariot who's given this trembling. He's wanting to disclose some truths of life to you. Not everyone has been given this trembling of hands. It's only you who's seeing this happening. There is something the God is telling to you. You've taken up the challenge. You are about to create a history and be an Arjun on the battlefields of Mahabharata. Otherwise, the God have not been on your chariot and you would have not been trembling in fear or agony or anger or whatever it is. So, I'll take this as a sign also of my time being over. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.